Where the hell the Los Angeles Lakers think they going with a bunch of white? Somebody had to say it, so I'm saying it.
It's Luka Doncic's team. This has been in motion really since last summer.
That when they chose to prioritize Austin Reeves over LeBron James.
Give it a few weeks. Let the noise settle. Read every justification the front office offers, and you'll still land in the same place. None of it fully explains what the Lakers just did to their own future. $130 million, 2 unprotected first-round picks, 2 additional swaps, all spent on a center who logged exactly 5 games last season. 0 tradable picks remain on the books. No real safety net if any of this goes sideways. Every explanation offered so far traces back to one single anxiety driving the entire front office, keeping one player happy enough to stay past 2028.
That the Los Angeles Lakers have signed this big boy Kessler from Utah. All right, Walker Kessler from Utah, 7'2", average 14 and 10, rim protect.
Start with the transaction that's genuinely the hardest one to rationalize. Walker Kessler. 2 unprotected firsts, 2 pick swaps, and a guaranteed 4-year deal with $130 million. Now actually look at what that purchased. A center who appeared in 5 total games last season, whose offensive game still needs real development, and whose screen setting remains unrefined at this level. Realistically, the odds of Kessler making an all-star roster anytime soon, let alone reaching all-NBA territory, feel genuinely low given the size of this investment. There's context worth acknowledging here, though. Restricted free agency almost never produces clean value in a sign-in trade. Both realistic center targets this summer, Kessler and Jalen Duren, carried massive price tags precisely because any offer sheet risked simply being matched by their original franchise. That reality shaped this entire deal. Without making a move like this, the Lakers might be heading into next season with DeAndre Ayton as their starting center, which would have created a different kind of disaster entirely. So there's a rational thread running through this decision. But once you strip away every justification, what remains is a front office operating out of urgency, not conviction.
None of them are scrubs. Luka and Austin can ball. They deserve their money. I respect the hell out of both.
And that urgency traces back to one specific date, 2028. That's when Luka Doncic becomes eligible for free agency, and it's clearly shaping nearly every roster decision made this summer. Had Luka already signed a long-term extension, there's a real argument the Lakers approach this center search with far more patience. They've been actively hunting for center upgrades since acquiring him, cycling through Ayton, briefly pursuing Mark Williams before pulling back, and now landing on Kessler. But the sheer aggression behind this specific deal feels different, and it stems directly from the uncertainty around Luka's long-term commitment. There's no deep organizational history between Luka and this franchise yet. No years of built loyalty, and when 2028 eventually arrives, plenty of ambitious franchises will be ready to make their pitch. Simply stringing together a solid regular season with a new starting center doesn't guarantee anything about keeping him beyond that. Here's the uncomfortable scenario nobody in that front office wants to say out loud publicly. What happens if Kessler simply isn't good enough or healthy enough, and Luka walks anyway once his contract expires? At that point, the Lakers are sitting with almost no draft capital, a massive contract that never paid off, and one of the most difficult rebuilding situations anywhere in the league.
The Los Angeles Lakers have signed Austin Reeves to a 4-year, $185 million.
Reeves declined his $14.9 million player option for the new max deal.
Now shift to Austin Reeves. 4 years, $185 million, officially the richest contract ever given to an undrafted NBA player. This particular move at least holds up under scrutiny. Detroit and several other teams were genuinely pursuing him, and simply letting that specific fit walk away for nothing would have undercut everything already built around Luka. But place that contract next to Luka's and Kessler's, and the concerning pattern becomes obvious: 3 enormous financial commitments, a shrinking championship ceiling, and almost no remaining flexibility to build the roster out further. Then look at the smaller additions. Sandro Mamukelashvili landed 4 years and $52 million, essentially near starter money for a player earning close to the league minimum just 1 season prior. Decent production, sure, but that's a significant bet on largely unproven output. Quentin Grimes at 4 years and $60 million feels reasonable, functionally a mid-level exception deal for a legitimate scoring guard. But here's what genuinely doesn't add up. Rui Hachimura, a proven, genuinely useful front-court piece who could space the floor and defend competently, walked to the Clippers for a shockingly modest number. Meanwhile, this same front office handed Mamukelashvili significantly more money for far less established production. That inconsistency alone raises real questions about how player value is actually being assessed inside this organization right now.
Past year, we saw LeBron James at the age of 41 lead the Lakers out of the first round without Luka Doncic, without Austin Reeves. But this has been a Lakers organization that has been trending in different priorities right around Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves. And so today, LeBron James, there's a lot surrounding this decision.
Then there's LeBron James leaving entirely. And this genuinely didn't play out like some emotional franchise heartbreak. It read more like a mutual, business-driven separation. There's little indication the Lakers were fighting hard to retain him, regardless of how this summer unfolded. The organization had clearly already committed to a different direction internally, and several of this summer's biggest swings, especially the Kessler trade, likely weren't realistic possibilities if LeBron remained on the books. His departure, alongside losing Hachimura and other rotation pieces, effectively cleared the financial runway for exactly this kind of aggressive spending. Which brings up the single largest concern with this entire roster construction. The Lakers currently hold 0 tradable future first-round picks, none whatsoever. If this exact roster existed while the franchise still controlled its full draft capital, this would read as a perfectly reasonable, workable situation, full of tradable value and future flexibility to keep adjusting around Luka over time. Instead, virtually every meaningful asset got committed in a single offseason, leaving genuinely limited options if any part of this bet fails to pay off as intended. There's also a broader pattern worth examining here. Look honestly at this front office's roster-building track record over roughly the past 15 years, separate entirely from the LeBron era. Remove the championship run built around LeBron and remove the genuinely fortunate outcome of landing Luka Doncic in that specific trade, and the actual decision-making history underneath doesn't inspire much confidence. There's a recurring pattern of questionable contracts, confusing free agency spending, and trades that simply don't hold up well under real analysis. This offseason, even granting every reasonable justification available, fits comfortably into that exact same pattern. So realistically, where does this leave the Lakers heading into next season? On paper, this looks like a weaker roster than what they had a year earlier. The strongest counterargument is a cleaner, more streamlined offense, now fully centered around Luka and Reeves without any complications. Defensively, there's theoretical upside, but nearly all of it depends entirely on Walker Kessler rapidly developing into a genuinely elite two-way center, something Utah clearly didn't value highly enough to fight aggressively to retain themselves. If Utah truly believed in his long-term ceiling, they likely would have locked him up before restricted free agency ever began. Instead, the Lakers paid an enormous premium for a genuinely unproven asset, and the entire trajectory of this era now hinges on his development, stacked directly on top of retaining a franchise cornerstone who isn't even under contract. So does the math actually work here? If these specific moves genuinely improve the odds of keeping Luka long-term, even marginally, maybe the entire calculation shifts in the front office's favor. That's a defensible argument worth acknowledging. But evaluated purely on its own merits, this summer reads like a franchise making decisions from anxiety rather than genuine strategic conviction. Maybe Walker Kessler becomes a legitimate all-star within 18 months and every bit of this critique ages poorly. That's entirely within the realm of possibility. But right now, the championship path here is genuinely difficult to see clearly. Tell me what you think. Does this roster actually make sense to you, or did fear just cost the Lakers their next several years? Drop your take below and subscribe for more breakdowns like this one.